there's something quite beautiful, isn't there, in the way that no matter how hard Meghan Markle tries, she remains completely overshadowed and completely disturbed by how Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is so effortless in her public pursuits and so effortless in the way the public adore her. And Meghan Markle tried very hard to capture the same sense of royalty and the same sense of performance in her Paris Fashion Week disaster that Catherine managed when she was on the airbase and wowing everyone. Do you remember this when she walked backwards off those steps? But of course, she couldn't do it. And I mean, look at that. It is something just to behold. And P-Dina, royal YouTube sensation who joins me now, I am told by my sources that Meghan Markle remains completely obsessed by the actions of Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She's never moved on. She's never forgotten their feud. And she simply cannot understand why Catherine receives this coverage and she does not. What do you make of it?
I think it just shows Meghan's attitude from the very beginning when she was in the royal family. And this is why she never got along with Catherine. She just has this jealousy because Catherine is so, I think, beloved in a very simple way, like with not much effort. She just does things the right way because she stays in her lane. She is someone that Meghan wishes she could be like. And because she can't, she envies her and she's very jealous, and that will always be the case. So there's never going to be a reconciliation with Meghan and Harry going back. There's never going to be a way to overcome the problems that they've had because it is so rooted and grounded in the establishment, the beginning of how all of this started, that it just is what it is. And I think how Catherine and William have been doing things, they just simply get on and do their work. And Meghan is just going to always live in this jealousy. She has to change so much about herself to get out of this predicament that she's in, that it will never happen because she can't bring herself to be humble, to show respect, to listen to people, that she will always be in this position of envy and jealousy and just mad with rage about not being beloved as Catherine. And it can become very dangerous because I think Meghan, like I said before, she is such a bully. And if she is taunted enough by not being able to get what she wants, I would be very afraid of the things that she would do. Think about what she has already done. Okay? This woman is not afraid to go there and to do horrible things because that's how important it is to her. This is so important to her whole being, her life. Look, she's willing to do the most egregious things to her own family. So you have to understand this woman to be not a very, I think, trustworthy person to even be around for that matter, because she will do things that will shock you, that will hurt you, that are disrespectful. It's really a very sad and dangerous thing, and we can only look at what has happened to Harry to understand just how serious that is, because he, in this position right now, has been the recipient of the things that Meghan is capable of doing, because he's lost everything and will continue to lose everything. So yeah, that's how I see it.
No, and I think that's a really good analysis. I wanted to share with you what Canal Citadel said about this. She is one of my favorite social media posters and is
Mhm.
especially good on those dynamics between Catherine and Meghan. And this was her take, P-Dina. She wrote, if you want to know how broken Meghan felt in the last few weeks, having to watch Catherine effortlessly own the spotlight, look no further than her latest morbid PR stunt. Yes, it has been rough. Not only was Catherine the highlight of the latest high-profile US state visit, but she has been breaking the internet for the most mundane things. And this is the point, and I love it. A simple video of Catherine tying her hair up in a bun took over the internet with over 500 million views across social media. Well, the latest video of her simply getting down the stairs backwards during an engagement had over 18 million views on one post alone on X. It is fair to say the world is simply obsessed with Princess Catherine, with her natural grace and elegance, with her poise and warmth, and with anything she does or wears. Thus enters the woman who forever will be chasing the spotlight for the wrong reason and at the wrong time. Meg was in such despair to compete when she cannot even compare that she decided to first post a picture of herself still pretending she is home making her jam when it was already revealed it is generic factory-made jam that she sells as hers. However, that PR stunt backfired spectacularly and hilariously when she posted a picture of herself holding a canning jar lifter upside down. What a donkey! Since that was an epic fail, Meg released her attendance at the Balenciaga Paris fashion show, attempting to look majestic, dressed like the Pope, all of the while acting for the camera. It was another PR fail, reminding the world that all she is a celebrity wannabe, chasing the spotlight for fame. And therefore Meg decided to really try to remind the world she is a royal too, and that she is Diana reincarnated. So she went full psychopath and decided to film herself driving on Paris, under the tunnel where Diana tragically died at night. This is how you know Catherine truly broke Meghan, where Catherine had the world in awe for the most normal and unassuming things like putting her hair in a bun or getting down the stairs backwards. Meg has to exploit Diana's death to get a bit of attention. And that absolutely morbid display of vulgarity and low morale in itself is proof that all along, that basic influencer only married into the royal family for fame and money. Both brothers married the woman they deserve. William married a woman who adores him to pieces, supports and elevates him at every turn, and gave him the family life and marriage he always dreamt of. Harry married his mother and his brother's stalker, a mentally deranged and obsessed woman for whom him and his family only represents her way out of the gutter and into the spotlight. So all Meg does is exploit every aspect of Harry's life for money and attention. That is the entire truth of Harry and Meghan's marriage, another Instagram catfish story. Meghan could not care less about Harry. She only married him so she could feel like she has a piece of Diana in her pocket, and it shows. As per her usual, since everything Meghan does comes from a place of selfishness, exploitation, and fame-seeking, it always backfires on her, and it did again. You can attempt to dress a dumpster bin in Balenciaga. It is still a mere dumpster bin. And P-Dina, I just thought Canal Citadel really put this perfectly by comparing and contrasting how Catherine is adored for these very minor acts and these regular displays of humanity. And Meghan can't bear it, so she tries to do one-upmanship and be dramatic and be ludicrous and be ridiculous. But all that does is actually make us see the real woman who she is. But when Meghan tries to do these small acts, they are so concocted and so fake, like pretending to jar her own jam to the point where she's not using the utensil in the right way, that it always just backfires on her because, as you always say, authenticity is everything, and there is no authenticity with her ever. Big news! Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may.
Yeah, it just demonstrates what we always knew about Meghan. She just is not a very authentic person. She tries to emulate other people, their characteristics, the things that they do, and it's a fail every single time. So, like, Meghan is never going to be what she envisions in her head. She always has people making fun of her because we can see through that. And I just don't know how she is able to try to go and do anything now because she's exposed so much about who she is that no one's ever going to give her an opportunity that is going to help elevate her to the what she sees in her own head. It just is so laughable. Every single thing that she does. Meghan is at a point now where she's revealed so much about herself and exposed herself in so many embarrassing ways and horrible things that she has done to other people. She just needs to go away and disappear and just go off the radar. But she won't. And it will keep happening over and over again. There will be something else that she'll do. We know they're going to be together, Harry and Meghan, coming up on Thursday for this award. I can only imagine what's going to like. There's something that always is going to happen every single time. First of all, they have no business getting that award. Number one, that tells you right there you shouldn't even go. But we know, number two, something is going to happen. She's going to do something to show her character, and she's just going to reveal herself for the fraud perpetrator that she is. That she's in a lose-lose. That's exactly right. Any and everything that this woman does will be scrutinized, and she'll never win ever. It's going to be a continual beatdown for her because she can't do things in a way that is authentic and real. She shows up false and fake every time, and we see right through it. So we're not fooled by you, Meghan. So it's a wrap already. You're going to show up for this award now? Okay. Now what's going to happen? Because it's just ridiculous everything that this woman does at this point. I mean, how can she go on and do anything? Because she makes so many mistakes, even with that utensil
Oh
there
my
with
God,
the
I know. Well,
jar
actually,
thing. I
just
mean,
before
it's
I
like
get your take on
embarrassing.
it, just before I get your take on it,
Yeah.
can I show you what Link Lauren had to say? Watch
Oh, okay,
this.
yeah.
Sure 1,000 times because I guess we have nothing better to do. But Meghan Markle has gone viral because she's using these tongs in the wrong way. Apparently, she's using these really fancy canning tool tongs. We're going to put it up on the screen. I have no idea what the hell this is, you guys. When I lived in New York for 6 years, I never used my kitchen once, okay? So I'm not here judging anyone for not knowing their way around the kitchen. I'm no Martha Stewart myself, okay? I can cook some things, I can bake some things when push comes to shove. But if I'm trying to be a chef influencer like Meghan Markle, I'm trying to be a kitchen lifestyle influencer, I would make sure that I actually use the products properly. But this is like when she baked those cookies and we saw there were like bugs and insects in them. You have to be careful eating at Meghan Markle's house because you're going to have bugs and insects, and she's using the tongs wrong. But everyone kept tagging me in this saying, how the hell does she not know how to use these tongs when she is trying to be the next Martha Stewart, the next Anthony Bourdain? She would love to have a show on the Food Network, but I don't think the Food Network would touch her with a 10-foot tong. So that's who Meghan Markle.
I mean, they wouldn't touch her, would they? But I mean, this was mortifying for her this week.
Yes. I mean, if you're going to show yourself in the kitchen and post it, nonetheless, please do your homework, Megan. Understand how to do something properly before you try to show yourself doing. I mean, that isn't that like the basic thing you should do? Understand what it is that you're doing and how to do it properly if you're going to show yourself doing it. I mean, that just points to being lazy. You're just entitled that you can just pick up any old thing and know how to use it. You are delusional in your head to think that you can just do these simple things without really understanding them. That's part of the problem. She never wants to stay in her lane. You have no business being in the kitchen trying to use some utensil that you have never even used before because you don't even want to even learn or look at how to properly even use it. Megan is lazy. She's entitled. She has no humility. She's a perpetrator and a fraud that needs to just call it a wrap because everything she does is going to cause problems because
Well, it was,
that's just the kind of person she is.
well, it was interesting. Samara Gill on the Sun's Royal Exclusive said that actually she is at a career rock bottom now. Watch this.
Is probably in one of the worst professional places she's ever been. Her podcast has been effectively cancelled that she had Confessions of a Female Founder. Netflix is looking for first deal. Her Jam didn't sell out when it was released. She's in a really bad way, and I know that I do say this quite often, but I do think the money is drying up as a couple, and that's why they now want reconciliation, because for the past 5 years, all they've been doing is dragging the King and Prince William and Catherine into the mud. And now they want reconciliation? The timing is really strange, and I think the palace is privy to the fact that there's something up, maybe, in Hollywood, in Montecito.
I mean, there is something up, but
Yeah.
of course, There is one aspect to Meghan's personality which some people, P-Dina, not me, but some people have a grudging respect for. And it is the fact that she does have this never say die attitude. It's the thing that Tom Bauer says really impresses him about her. Because, okay, every other major fashion house had said hell no for the past 6 years. The only one who would take her was the fashion house that a lot of celebrities still will not touch because it's mired in a child sex scandal. But she got the major fashion house eventually. She debuted her new post-work, whatever it is, face. And she got a meeting with Anna Wintour. So does it not prove that no matter how bad things are, she's like a cockroach, do you know what I mean? She'll always find a way to survive. But first, as I've entered my 40s, aging has become ever present in my life. My body doesn't back up the way it used to, and I've found that it's far easier to get injured when trying to work out, far harder to recover too. But I believe one of the best aging breakthroughs of the last decade is qualia senolytic. And I'm going to explain why. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. A big culprit behind that middle-aged feeling can be so-called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. Now, those zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically feeling old. Now, qualia senolytic is a groundbreaking, clinically tested supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that help your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells, helping you feel years younger in just months. But here's what I absolutely love about this product. You take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Now, since taking qualia senolytic, I've felt like I've turned back the clock. I have higher energy, less soreness after exercise, and a big boost in productivity too. That all equals feeling so much better. So experience the science of feeling younger by going to qualialife.com/Dan for up to 50% off your purchase. Use the code DAN, that's DAN, for an additional 15%. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And by the way, thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to it.
Yeah, she will. I that's the one thing I've always said too about Megan. She will keep going and going and
Yep.
going. And I think at this point, it's just a matter of who is going to take her on, knowing that she's just going to keep trying. And I think at some point, she'll just have to understand that she can't be at this high level that she sees herself as, and that she'll probably get something or do something at a much lower, insignificant kind of way. But nonetheless, she'll just keep trying and trying. But she'll never get to what I think she envisions for herself. She'll have to settle for her mediocre type of personality and skill set, and succumb to that eventually is what I believe will happen with her.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
because
think
every
yeah,
other major fashion house is looking at Balenciaga and saying, well, this is why we didn't get involved. This is why we didn't
right.
get involved, because we didn't want these headlines about a cheap stunt in a limousine that we paid for involving Princess Diana. They don't want that.
Yeah. And they know that Megan is going to, I think some people know that she will embarrass your company, herself at some point, because I mean, just look at what she's done to the royal family to know what she could do to your brand and your company. That's why a lot of the celebrities don't have anything to do with her, because they were told by their PR people, you can be nice to her, you can like her, whatever, but just don't be in partnership with her or photograph with her, or really keep an arm's length with Megan, because she will not bring good things to you and your brand. And I think that is what we see happening, right? All the time. Megan is just not good news for anybody. So
Completely
let's see where she
ignored
end up.
by the mainstream media and the royal rota, the constant bullying allegations swirling around Meghan Markle in so many ways. A lot of this, of course, coming from the Sussex Squad, which continues to be this gang of internet terrorists. Do you know what I mean? Going for
Yeah.
anyone who dares to tell the truth. But Austen Lee Moore did speak out this week, P-Dina. Watch this.
So, Meghan Markle, I just want to say, is the queen of bullying. Okay, she hires these influencers who are the Markle, like their whole page is like Meghan Markle. It's, they're obsessed with her, but she pays them, okay, to go and attack other pages, bots, in other terms. But there's also actual people who will come for you. Like, I don't have a huge following, okay, and this one, like, they came for me. They come for other people. And you know what the funny thing is she watches those stories, and she is like, okay, the guy that came for me, he bragged about Meghan watching his stories. And guess who was the first person to pop up on his thing? Meghan. Just saying, if Meghan is all about that peace and finding her tranquility, it doesn't seem like she's doing that. It seems like she is being a bully and manipulating things like she always does. And she is just the ultimate queen of trying to hold the narrative. But guess what, girl? It's slipping because people are starting to figure you out, and you are a shady bitch.
I like a little ticket. But look, it is slipping, that the mask is slipping, P-Dina, because of course we had this from him this week, but then last week we had all of the revelations in court in regards to the Byline Times and this relationship and the accusations of some form of collusion between Harry's lawyers and this hard leftist blog. We know this is all going on. At some point, you'd hope the mainstream media would put the pieces together too.
Yeah, I think that's something that definitely needs to start to happen. I mean, at what point do they start to acknowledge all the things that we see happening? I think social media has been very good at trying to show the kind of person that Meghan is. And to the point that he was making, I think it just shows how dangerous Meghan is. And Meghan is the kind of person that has no scruples. She will do any and everything to help herself because it's all about her and nobody else. And she is, I think, can be very dangerous. I mean, depending on, look at the people she has that are supporting her and the horrible illegal things, the criminality of these people, are doing all of her dirty work. I mean, that is a dangerous person that doesn't put that in check, people who are your fans. So it's just an extension of who Meghan really is behind the scenes. And that is not a good thing. So the mainstream media needs to start really reporting on things that we all see happening with Meghan. And because this is something that can be very harmful to a lot of people because they take it to a whole nother level. They've done some bad things that have still not been accounted for, but yeah, she is shady. And I think at some point the light's going to be shown into her eyes as the person that's behind all of this because she hasn't done anything about it and she should. But it's just who she is. But it will come to light eventually. They will at some point have to report on it because I think at some point it's going to be too big for them not to report on it.
Well, more and
Because
more
that's
people who
how she
do
is.
know where a lot of the bodies are buried are starting to speak out, P-Dina,
Yeah.
including, by the way, the PR representative, Nick Eade. He was one of the first people to bring Meghan Markle into the London social circuit at all. I'm talking right back in the days of the Gift Gala and Eva Longoria and Lizzie Cundy and all of that. But she did use him initially, even after she had met Prince Harry, despite ghosting other people from that era. It wasn't long, though, till he got dropped too. He's starting to speak out. This on Woke ITV's Royal Podcast. It's all pretty softly stuff for now. But as I say, he knows a hell of a lot more. Watch this.
And I think that people evolve, and I don't have any grudge in any
People
way.
evolve, right.
I think, you know.
So Meghan needed you and then didn't.
Meghan needed me and didn't.
Okay.
You know, I introduced her to lots of agents, model agents. I sort of really ingratiated her into the London life, which I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
Because she was a fantastic person to be around. And we kept on, you know, texting each other for quite a while. And even when she was with Harry, you know, she was still texting me. And then after a while, you know, we kind of petered off. I did what I did, and she went off to become a Duchess.
Became one of the most famous people in the world, of course. But Piers Morgan always tells the story of being ghosted by her, you know, like she reached out to him. But this was 2014.
Yes.
And I was looking back at actually some of the interviews Meghan did at the time when she was referring to the UK as having cold weather, but the people are warm, and that she'd like to hang around for a while. And that was an event that you took her to.
That was, a big charity event I took her to. I took her to various different parties, etc.
Yeah.
We used to go clothes shopping. It was really good fun. And, you know, I actually didn't have
I used to go clothes shopping with Meghan Markle.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
But, you know, the funny thing is I also took her to see some agents, and we had some really fun times. And one agent, I mean, it's crazy, actually turned around to her and said, I think you should be in pantomime. You know, when a man plays a woman plays a man, we make a great prince.
And being American, she said, what is pantomime?
What is that? And then he went, do you know David Hasselhoff? And she went, yes. Well, he makes a lot of money in 3 weeks. And then about 4 years later, the same person calls me up and says, do you remember that delightful girl that came to my office? I said, yes, a future princess. There we go.
Yes.
A real one.
She's not a prince in a pantomime.
Exactly.
A
real one,
in real life. Look, and
So, I mean, he's keeping it nice at this point, P-Dina, but trust me, he knows where a lot of those bodies are buried. And I mean, I find it extraordinary she couldn't even be bothered to keep him on side.
Yeah, she is someone that uses people and just moves on. You know, at some point, Megan is just going to be at the bottom of the barrel doing, you know, like really horrible things to make money because she is not going to get the people that she wants on her side. Like she's done these things to people when she was really a nobody. Then she got somebody with Harry and ghosted people. Well, you know, I think that's what's happening to her right now. And so Megan is going to have to start doing something that she doesn't want to do to make a living because she's not going to get these doors open to her for these big jobs that are going to pay her all this money because people are slowly starting to see who she is and they don't want anything to do with her. And so what Megan put out and what she did to other people when she was coming up, that is what is starting to happen to her now. She is getting back what she put out there. Okay, so we're just going to see Megan doing some really shady things later to make money because she's not going to get these doors opened that she had hoped to get open once she married into the royal family. So it is coming back on her for sure.
Meanwhile, it's Prince William, who's on the cover of People magazine this week, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, given that will have been another blow, of course, to Meghan and Harry. She would have hoped that her Balenciaga stunt got her on there, but instead it was William's interview with Eugene Levy. People are claiming an exclusive, though, because of a couple of new revelations, P-Dina, which I'll just quickly take you through. So the piece's headline, what Prince William's surprising new openness signals about the monarchy and why it's not a criticism of his father. Future King speaks candidly. A shift. Insiders say there was not a critique of King Charles. Personally, I think that's a bit naive, but let me just tell you what they're reporting. His vision is not a rebuke of his father. This shouldn't be seen as a criticism of King Charles. Historian Robert Lacey tells People he is very close to his father and has been his most important supporter. Instead, the Prince of Wales is defining his own path, one that honours tradition while embracing change. For royal watchers, the striking admission is fascinating. This is about change coming to the royal family, says Andrew Morton. The two words change and monarchy don't naturally go together. Monarchy is about continuity, to predicate your future life on the change you're going to make to it. Well, that's a delicate mechanism. For William, though, change doesn't mean upheaval, but rather modernisation. A monarchy more emotionally attuned and grounded in everyday life. This is a source within the palace, so this is probably most interesting, P-Dina. Prince William has been quite vocal about what he wants to do when the time comes to be more accessible, more approachable. What do you make of it?
Mhm. Yeah, that to me is definitely a big change. And I think it is something that we're doing already with social media, and more people that are at the higher social ladder of celebrity, I guess you would say, are a little bit more accessible. And I think it's just the changing times that we're in. And I think it speaks to how the younger generation just sees things, and he is a part of that. So it could be a way to just try to go with the times that we're living in. And I think it's a good thing. I think it makes him definitely more likable, because you seem more approachable. You don't have this, snooty, tooty attitude about, I'm better than you. And he really wants to do good and help people. And he's just trying to be relatable. And I think that's what you have to do. You have to be more accessible, and try to create a certain type of change to coincide with the era and the time that we're living in. And that all is something that is welcomed, I believe, by this generation that we're living in now. It is going to be definitely something I think we've never seen before, and a good thing moving forward. I'm excited about his reign as the future king.
Me too. Me too. P-Dina, absolutely brilliant to have you. Of course, do sign up, subscribe to P-Dina's brilliant YouTube page for so much more excellent analysis. But so great to have you on Outspoken, P-Dina. We will speak next week. And of course, if you do want first access to our Royal Uncancelled after show on Substack, twice the length of what you've just watched, then do sign up at www.outspoken.live. That takes you to my Substack loading page. You just have to enter your email address there. You can subscribe completely for free. But if you do want first access to the Royal Uncancelled after show Monday to Friday with no advertising whatsoever, you can watch it either live or on demand whenever you want, then just go for the paid monthly or annual subscription. Substack subscriptions, by the way, completely support all the work that I do here on Outspoken. So if you do like what I'm doing on Outspoken, the best thing you can do is become a paid subscriber to my Substack. Substack is a free speech platform. It protects me from big tech, cancellation, and lawfare. That's why I am so behind it. The address again, www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.